so that the court gets a picture of what type of father Mr. Chester Rogers is to his children. And it's important that the court gets this picture because that will explain the testimony from the complaining witness who will testify that her and her brother Christopher Rogers ran to a gas station to call, finish your sentence, 911. All right. And he called to 911, dispatched some police officers to the BP gas station that's located on Bird Road in Evergreen in the city of Detroit. And Your Honor, the people also have the responding officers to this gas station who responded to the call, and the court will hear testimony from officers as well. And again, Justice, the details and the testimony from these children and from what the officers experienced when they came in contact with these children will definitely persuade this court into finding Mr. Rogers guilty of 2 counts of child abuse in the 4th degree. And if not, Your Honor, if not, the people are not able to persuade this court that Mr. Rogers is guilty, in fact, of both counts of child abuse in the 4th degree, the people are certain that the court will find Mr. Rogers guilty of the alternative charge, which is 2 counts of assault battery with respect to each complaint with each.
And I'm glad you said that because my question to you was those are alternate theories.
Yes, they are.
Not, you're not asking for
no, Judge, it's just according to the court rules, if I'm not mistaken, I just had to add those to the complaint. Yeah, okay, that's correct.
Okay. Any opening at this time on behalf of the defense?
No, I will reserve opening.
Okay.
Call Mr. Rogers.
Okay. All right, then the people may call their first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, the people would like to call Charity Rogers to the stage.
Is this the minor witness?
Yes, it is.
How old is
Miss Rogers is 17. Right now.
she's 17 now?
Yes.
Okay, there.
Okay, so. Okay.
Oh, that's the minute information.
So I'm just have
Good.
Right, and so I just.
Yeah, he's not on the phone. So, I was for sure, so I said.
Okay, excuse me, that delay, step towards me and raise your right hand for me. Okay. Yes, that's good. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes. Okay, put your hand down, okay? Tell me your name. And Ms. Rogers, how old are you today? Okay, and Ms. Rogers, you seem real nervous. Are you nervous? Okay, let's make sure, where's the Kleenex? Do we have some Kleenex here? You have some? Okay. And so Ms. Rogers, you were really nervous. So I want you to just take some deep breaths, okay? And then we're gonna just try to take it one step at a time, okay? If you feel more comfortable when you're testifying, if you feel more comfortable looking directly at me, you're gonna be sitting right there. If you feel more comfortable looking at me, then look at me and I'll look at you, okay? If you don't wanna look towards the tables, that's fine, you don't have to. You can look towards me, okay? Okay, have a seat. And then, Ms. Ritter, can you and council approach?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go in the back.
Yeah, that's right.
Council, how you?
Oh, man, you know you're doing too much already right here. I'm sorry.
Okay, let's go in the back. 1 minute.
I'm sorry, I was almost up. Back to session.
All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Ms. Rogers. Good afternoon, Ms. Sherry Rogers.
You don't have to look at her if you don't want to. Remember, I told you to look at me, but whatever makes you comfortable. All right, and then, but pull that, see that mic that's right there on the lid? Pull it down like this, look. Okay. Cause you're really talking to me, even though she's asking the question. I'm the one that has to make the decision, so you can look at me. Okay. All right.
Number two, okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Sherry Rogers.
Good afternoon,
Ms. Sherry Rogers, can you state your name for the court nice and loud?
Charity Rogers.
Okay, and Ms. Rogers, I want to take you back to an incident that happened, and I'm gonna take my time so we can walk through it real slow so that you can get everything out for the judge, okay?
Okay.
Okay, now it's important, Ms. Rogers, that you know, take a deep breath and talk nice, loud and slow so that the judge can hear everything you're saying, okay?
Okay.
All right, so, Ms. Rogers, do you remember, the day where you and your brother Christopher Rogers went to the gas station to call the police?
Yes.
Okay, why did you have to call the police? Okay, just take a deep breath, Ms. Rogers, it's okay. And if you need to use a tissue, yep, there you go, if you need to use a tissue, just use a tissue. Take a deep breath and speak up nice and loud, okay? Okay, now,
You said that because your dad was chasing you down the street.
Yes.
okay, okay. And why, do you know why your dad was chasing you and your brother down the street?
Because of the events beforehand.
Okay, can we talk about that? One second, approach, just. Oh. Well, don't, you don't. Not today, no. I just have my OIC. Let's keep going and then I'll see. Okay. All right, so Ms. Rogers, I'll repeat my question for you. Can you tell the judge what events happened before your dad started chasing you down the street?
Before that happened, we went to a family reunion and we were about to go home and my dad, he took me and my brother to go get Chinese food.
Okay, so you said we went to a family reunion. Who is we?
Me, my dad, and my little brother,
Okay, what's your little brother's name?
Christopher Rogers,
And how old is Christopher
14 as of now.
as of now?
Yes,
Okay, and I'm sorry, Ms. Rogers, how old are you?
17.
Okay, you're 17 right now?
Yes,
Okay, and you went to this family reunion with your dad?
yes.
Okay, and you said after that, where did you go?
My dad took us to go get Chinese food.
Okay, and what happened after you went to the Chinese food restaurant?
We were outside waiting on the food and my dad told me to call my mom because the way I had got there was, I had took an Uber to my dad's house. But my little brother, he was in Atlanta with my grandparents. And after I took the Uber, he asked me to call my mom. So he said he would pay him for the Uber, some type of way. She paid for the first one, I think, or I can't remember exactly.
It's okay.
But, he was asked if she paid for the next one, he would just pay her back. And, my mom told she was on like speakerphone, well, she wasn't on speakerphone yet, she was, talking in my ear, she told me to tell him that she can't be spending money on Ubers and things.
I object that from hearsay, I'm sorry, I mean, I guess maybe not the truth of the matter asserted.
I'll allow. Overruled. Okay, keep going, Charity.
And then, I don't know what happened exactly after that, but my mom said something about how she felt it was disrespectful.
I'm gonna object to that, yeah.
Okay, so let me stop you right there, Charity. So after the conversation between your mom and dad, what happened?
My dad had slammed the door, he started like pulling out of, like the Chinese place, I can kind of remember it, so he started pulling out of the parking lot really fast. And then, he told us we're not going home today, and I still had like my mom on the phone, he was like speeding down the street.
Okay, and what happened after that?
My little brother woke up and he was scared, he had started crying.
Okay, where was your little brother when he was sleeping?
He was in the front seat and I was all the way in the back, cause there's like 3 rows.
Okay, and whose car is it?
My dad,
Okay, and what happened after your brother woke up?
he was crying and my dad was telling me to hang up on my mom. And then my dad was calling my little brother names for crying.
Okay, and what did your little brother do when he was getting called names?
He was just sitting there crying.
Okay, and what happened next?
I told him, I basically told him to stop calling my brother names. He told me don't talk to him like that.
And what happened after that?
And he told me, a couple words later, he told me I don't know that he'll kill me. And then after that, we were still driving fast and a couple more words were exchanged and he had turned into the same gas station and he like.
Okay, when you say the same gas station, what gas station, do you
The
remember?
gas station, I had to call the police at.
Okay, and what happened after you got to the gas station with your dad?
He had accidentally like, it was like he crashed into like this pole kind of. He had got out and then he got back in. And then he had, drove down the street again and then we went to, 2 houses. It was one like kind of around the corner of it. And then after he came from that house, talking to somebody, he got back in, we drove to another house before we went to his house.
Okay, and what happened when you got to his house?
He told us to go in the house and then
Who did he tell to go in the house?
me and my little brother.
Okay, and what did you do after he told you that?
I said no, and, my little brother was about to go into the house, but I told him not to go in, because I had said, you see the look on his face, come on, he's about to just go.
Okay, and what happened after that?
And he kept telling my little brother he was in the house, and he kind of like grabbed him and started pulling him in the house. And then, I don't know, I think I like kind of pushed him, I think.
Who did you push?
I think I pushed my dad off of my brother.
Okay, and when you say you pushed your dad off of your brother, if you remember, can you explain to the court how your dad was on your brother?
Like, he was like grabbing him.
Okay, do you remember why, like, how was he grabbing him?
I think he was like grabbing him by his arm, but he had pushed him near the stairs to go in the house. And
Okay, and where are you at this part? Are you inside the house or outside the house?
outside the house next to his car.
Okay, and what happened next?
After that, he had picked me up. And then I had like kind of hit him in the face. He had grabbed me by like my arms right here.
Okay, wait, hold on. You said right here.
Like my,
Okay, thank you. She's rubbing her upper, arm. What is this part of your arm? The upper part of her arm, and she's rubbing that's her right arm. Okay, go ahead. Okay, and what happened after that?
I like kind of hit him in his face a little bit. He threw me to the ground.
And what happened after you threw you to the ground?
My headphones had fell up and I lost the hearing and I was trying to tell my little brother to come on. And I had got, slammed against his truck. And then that's when me and my little brother had finally started running a little bit afterward.
Okay, and what happened after you started running with your little brother?
When we were running, my dad started walking behind us and I was on the phone and I had called my nana. And I was telling her what was happening.
And what was going on while you were calling your nana and telling her what happened?
My dad was chasing us.
And what did you do after your dad chased you?
When we were still being chased, I called my nana being chased. She asked me what I want her to do about it. And I don't.
It's okay, take your time. If you need to use your tissue, take your time.
She asked me what I wanted her to do about it. And then I hung up the phone and I called 911 again while we were running because that's what my mom had told me just do was going on and she was trying to call me too.
Okay, so do you remember where you were when you were running? Do you remember the name of the street?
At the street house, it's Evergreen, I think it's called.
Okay, do you know what's the name of your dad's street?
Yeah, I think the street's name is Evergreen.
Okay, and what happened after you started running again?
Cause I was calling the police and my phone had died while I was on the phone with 911. They said they were sending somebody. The second time I called, they said they were sending someone.
Okay, and what happened after your phone died?
After my phone died, we were still running, he was chasing us, and then, I turned around and I had called him an evil person, and he slapped me. And like kind of doing, it was like a really hard slap, and he kind of like threw me to the ground.
Okay, and where did he slap you?
I was sitting here, so he had slapped me on this side of my face and hit the ground.
Okay, just, and for the record, she's holding up her hand to the left side of her face. Okay, and what happened after that?
My little brother had told him don't hit his sister, and he had punched my little brother.
He did what?
He punched my little brother.
Where did he punch your little brother?
I don't remember exactly. I just saw his fist. He punched my little brother, and my little brother, like earlier, he had an injury on his shoulder, but he punched my little brother again. He fell on his shoulder right here.
Okay, for the record, Judge, she's holding her right shoulder. Okay, and what happened after that?
Me and my little brother got up and started running again, and then we had crossed the street, and he was just walking slowly at that point, and then he started running again. We had stopped for a second, and I grabbed my little brother's phone to call the police on his phone instead.
Okay, where were you at this point?
We were still on the same street. All
Okay.
of this occurred on the same street.
Okay, and what happened after you grabbed your little brother's phone?
I had called 111 on his phone, and the operator told me to calm down that they were going to send someone soon. Nothing. We started running to the gas station. My dad started running too.
Okay, do you remember the name of the gas station?
No,
Do you remember where the gas station was?
yeah, it's at the end of the street he lives on. I think it's across from a Family Dollar.
Okay. And what happened when you got to that gas station?
When I got to the gas station, I asked like the clerk. I told him somebody was shaking us back. I asked him to let me go ahead and see, but they just kept ignoring me. And my little brother, they kept ignoring me. I kept telling them, can they please help me hide us back there? They ignored us. And then my dad came to the gas station.
And what happened when he came to the gas station?
We were just walking around like the eyes and stuff. He was just walking behind me, my brother. He would stop and talk to my brother. I don't know exactly what he was saying. And then he would talk to me and then talk to my brother. And then at some point he had hit my brother's head against like the glass in the gas station.
Okay, and what did you do after that happened?
I was still on the phone with 911 and my little brother came closer towards me and then he told me, he said he just told me, he called me a dyke. He told me to take off his belly shirt. And after that,
It's okay, take your time, Charity.
after that, I was still on the phone with the operator waiting like on the back side of the gas station.
Okay, now, at any point, did the police come to the gas station?
Yes,
Okay, and what happened when the police came to the gas
when the
station?
police came to the gas station, he told my little brother that he knows he wants to see him for a long time and that he loves him time. And then I kind of chased, he was going down the aisle and I kind of chased behind him. And I told him I loved him. And he told me I was doing some for his money and I don't love him.
Who said that?
My dad.
Okay, now, when the police arrived, where were you?
I was still in the gas station.
Okay, and did you talk to the police?
Yes, I talked to him when they took him out of the gas station and I had talked to them when they came back in and got me.
Okay, and then, what happened after you talked to the police?
My sister, when the police got there, my sister, apparently my mom called my sister had, came to get me and my brother, and I talked to the police, and I was just crying for my sister for a bit.
Okay, and your sister, you said your sister came to get you?
Yes,
What's your sister's name?
Chanel Lewis,
How old is your sister, do you know?
she's 26 now.
Okay, and how did your sister know that you were at the gas station?
My mom had called her.
Okay, and then what happened next, if anything?
My sister was driving us home and
Okay, and, after that, did you talk to the police anymore after that?
I only talked to a detective.
Okay, and did anything else happen after, you left the gas station?
No, just, My auntie Trina and my auntie Chantel can call me.
Okay. May I have one moment, Judge? You may.
Judge, I don't have any further questions at this time. Thank you, Charity.
Not yet, Sherry, so, the other lawyer is gonna ask you some questions, okay? All right. Cross-examination.
Good afternoon, Sherry. I'm Attorney Free, proud to have a few questions for you. Okay?
Okay.
Now, were you injured on this day?
Just on my face.
And what treatment did it require?
It didn't require any treatment. They asked me to go with an ambulance, but I wanted to go with my sister, so I, treatment was required.
Was there any swelling or anything?
No, my face was just red for a while, and that's it.
Okay. Did your brother have to get any medical attention?
He just got, I spoke to my mom, and he had left afterwards.
So he left?
Yes, he went back to Atlanta with my dad and my papa.
Okay, but he didn't do that day.
No, not that day.
But he didn't have to go to any medical treatment that day, correct?
Correct.
Okay. What, if anything, did he do that day?
What did you do?
Just your brother, once y'all got home?
When my brother got home,
Yeah.
he had played games with my little brother. Actually, this he was just playing the game lunch. He was just helping my other little brother set up his game. He had been needing to show him, but my brother was down in Atlanta with our cousin, so he wasn't able to play with us for a while.
So he basically came home and played games with another young person now?
Yes, he played games, with my brother.
Okay. Now, you said your dad had thrown you on the ground. Where exactly did that happen?
Right in front of his house, because I remember it exactly, right in front of his house, he had picked me up by my arms after he had picked me up by my arms, and then he had, I kind of hit him in the face, get him off me, he said, "You just hit me," and then he had threw me real hard against the ground. There's like a tree in front of his house. I think it's still there, but it's like dirt right here. And he threw me into the ground, then I knocked my headphones off of my earring. I still don't know what my earring is, but that my earrings and headphones that came off there.
Okay. Now you did make a statement, correct? You did talk to the detectives, correct?
Yes,
And when you hit your father, why did you hit your father?
but I hit my father because he had grabbed me and I was trying to release myself.
Okay, so you were hitting him before he could put you down.
Yeah, I hit him once and I had kind of hit his face, it was like this, and I kind of hit his face like that because he was holding me by my arm. He was holding me up like this.
For the record, she has both her hands in front of her in this position.
All right, and so now, you said that, and then what happened after that?
After that, he had slammed me against his truck.
Okay. Not the ground, but the truck.
No, he slammed me against the ground and he slammed me against the truck. This was 2 instances.
Okay. All right. Now, in one statement, you didn't mention the fact that he had slammed you against the truck.
I mentioned it to multiple people that he slammed me against the truck, and I also mentioned it to the detective. Now, when I was at the gas station, I may not have mentioned it because I was crying saying he didn't love me anymore. So I may not have mentioned it to the police officer, but I made sure I mentioned it to the detective.
Okay. Now, how is your relationship with your dad?
Before I it was good. I mean, I think it was good.
So you think it was good?
Well, it wasn't moderate because of instances of forcible. I don't know, I talked to him once in a while, but it was like before, like a couple months before, he got mad again. And I mean, it was okay, I won't say it was, I don't know. I don't know how to particularly describe it due to my current feelings, so I don't think I can right now.
Okay, and, now your dad did wait for you and your brother to be picked up at the gas station, right? He waited at the gas station.
I guess he just walking around the gas station following them.
Okay. Okay, in that time, did he assault you or do anything?
He like slammed my brother against, like, his head against the glass in the gas station.
Like the counter glass?
No, the fridge glass, like the glass freezer thing, he like hit my little brother against there.
Okay. Did you tell the detective that?
I believe so.
And, you guys had went to the family reunion prior to this.
Yes.
How was that?
The family reunion, I had met a couple people. I mean, I think it was good. There wasn't any issues there. I had met a couple people and that said they knew me, but I didn't really know them. I met a great audience of other people. I think I had fun.
Okay. And, if you know, what preceded this disagreement in the car?
It was hard because, like, you're asking, to be clear, you're asking me what caused him to like be upset at me.
Yeah, if you know.
Because my mom, told him it was disrespectful. She felt it was disrespectful for my little brother to move his state to state without her knowing, because she had allowed my little brother to go to Atlanta at first, but she didn't know he was coming back to Michigan. She said no adult had spoken with her. Everybody relied on kids to tell her, and she didn't know until the day of or the day before.
Okay, slow down. I don't understand. How did your brother get back from Atlanta?
Just objection or
Well, I mean,
Can I still answer that?
Yes, you can answer,
Okay,
if you know.
I think because I think he was like my, I don't know. If
I'll make sure. Did your dad assist your brother getting back from Atlanta? If you know.
Like, did he take him, or is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah, your mother did, let me slow. Did your mother know that your brother was back from Georgia? Yes or no?
No, not until the day of.
Okay. So now, was your dad responsible for getting your brother back from Georgia?
Are you asking me if he got my brother, or are you asking me if he, what, I'm not sure what you're asking me particularly. Are you asking me if he was the one who went and got my brother?
No, ma'am, I'm asking, did he, pay for it, facilitate, was he the individual that?
I am not sure. All I know is that my dad had told me my little brother was coming back so he could go to a family reunion.
Okay. Now, that's just, I'm gonna be real short, Judge. How did you get in, did your dad pick you up from your mom's house?
No, my mom, as I stated before, I took an Uber to my father's house,
From where?
from my mom's house.
Okay. And where was your brother when you were taking it to?
My brother, I'm not sure who was particularly, but when I took the Uber, I had met my dad and my brother at my dad's house.
Oh, okay. Were you surprised to see your brother?
No,
Yeah. Why not?
because I knew my brother was there. My mother did not.
Okay.
My dad had told me, he said that he had told my brother to tell my mother, but my mom said she felt it was disrespectful because she's relying on kids to tell her to leave, the adult should have kept in contact with her about. My brother apparently never told my mother, so that's where the whole discrepancy came in.
Okay, to your knowledge, was your brother living with your father at that period? Or staying with, I'm not saying, but was he staying when you got
He
this house?
was with my grandparents.
No, no, what I'm saying here in Michigan.
He had never lived with my father. He was living with my grandparents. My mother gave consent for him to visit my grandparents for a couple of weeks, and I believe it was, I can't believe, I remember it was June or May that my mom allowed my brother to stay with my grandparents.
That's in Georgia though, right?
Yes,
Okay, and so what I'm, right, okay, right. There is a court order visitation, correct?
Sustained.
Okay. Sorry. Let me get you. Your brother was at your dad's home when you arrived there from the, right?
yes,
Okay. Was his luggage there? Things that he had, was his, you know, he has to have things. Were they at your dad's house? If you know,
I'm not sure.
okay. And your brother, so your mother, okay, I'm gonna move, so at this point in time, you're going to your dad's and your brother called you, let you know that he was with your dad?
Beforehand, my brother had, okay, so I'm the one who told my mom my brother was actually in Michigan because she told me, like, is Christopher going to, because my dad said Christopher was going to film Georgia, and I'm the one who told my mom my brother was in Michigan, and then she said she thought that was respectful, but she still let me go, and then when I had to Uber to get there, which she had paid for.
All right, and so, all right, and did your brother call you and say, hey, I'm coming to Michigan?
No.
How did you know your brother was in Michigan?
Because I answered the ask.
Well, and it's not relevant.
Okay, all right, move on.
Let me do it.
All right, I'm just, all right. So now, and how, but you guys had a decent time at the family reunion, right?
Yes, I had a decent time in the family reunion.
Okay, and now you're in the car and you're going back to his house,
Yes,
okay? And now, prior to the incident, what was your understanding for the plans of the evening? Were you gonna stay with your father or was he supposed to take it back to you?
no, I was not staying with my father, nor was he taking me back to my mother's. The plan was for me taking Uber back to my mother just the way I got there.
And was the plan for your brother to go with you or was he just stay with your father?
I don't quite remember. I know he was supposed to stay with my father. I believe he was supposed to come back with me in an Uber, and I think that was one of the issues that had caused the whole dispute was because my mom would have to pay for the Uber there, back, and there, back.
Okay. And where is your brother stuck, if you know?
I do not know.
And relevant.
Okay, and so now, so what was the disagreement about?
The disagreement was about my brother moving state to state without any adult notifying her or letting her know that her child was moving place. She said she felt it was disrespectful for this to be happening. That's what happened.
Okay, but I'm trying to say, what got, but at that point, you were not upset with your father was not upset with you. What was the disagreement between you and your father?
The disagreement between me and my father was that I still had my mother on the phone after he told me to hang it up, and he said, we are his kids, and he would do whatever he wants with his kids. And he told me to hang up the phone on my mother, hang up the effing phone, and I did not hang up the phone. And then my little brother woke up and he started calling my brother's name, and I told him not to speak to my brother that way. That's what caused the initial dispute between me and my father.
Okay. So he just out of the blue just started calling your brother's name.
No, my brother woke up because my father was feeding and twerking, and my brother woke up because he was yelling about my mother out loud. My brother woke up and was crying because he was frightened, and he started calling my brother's name because of him crying.
Okay. Then what happened next?
After that, as I stated before, after that, he drove and he had hit a pole at the gas station. And I think I described that series of events already.
Okay. Was there much damage done to the vehicle?
I'm not sure, I didn't look at the vehicle I never looked at the front of the vehicle as I was in it, and then when I got out of it, we were parked in his driveway. So I only saw the side of it where I got slammed against the car. I never saw the front of the vehicle.
Okay. And when they hit the pole, was it an accident? Did it jar anything?
Does that mean I'm supposed to answer that?
Yes.
Okay, you're asking me if it startled me when he hit the pole?
No, I'm saying, was it an accident? I mean, was it real quick, was it a impactful accident?
Yeah, it's like shook us a bit, but I don't think it was like, he didn't like go through the pole, he just went to the pole.
Okay. And then, all right, so now, so he's basically upset with you because you won't hang up the phone with your mother.
He was upset with me at first because I wouldn't hang up the phone with my mother. Then he got upset at me because I was talking back to my father.
You were talking back to him.
Yes, about him speaking bad about my brother and calling him names.
Okay, all right. If you know, what names did he call?
Judge, objection of relevance.
Well, test your memory. If it's even true.
This
Hold on.
does that mean you want me to answer?
It means I don't want you to.
Okay.
You know how long he called your brother's name?
He called my little brother names for a bit until I had started, telling him not to talk to my brother that way, and that's when he started telling me that he's my father and not to talk back to him and that I don't know if he'll kill me.
Okay, and, what happened next after that?
After that, he had drove and he hit the pole, and then he drove to 2 houses, and then that's when he started going to his house. And I said no, and then me and my brother were about to go, and then that's when we started getting chased, slammed, and punched.
Okay. And then, did you have the Chinese food?
No, well, actually, no, we did have Chinese food. Yeah, I went in and got it, and that's when I came out. Chinese, are you asking, did I have the Chinese food when I had left his home? Are you asking if I took it home with me? Because he had brought the Chinese food into the vehicle, did I take it with me? No.
Okay, and you remember who went in and got the Chinese food?
The person who went and got the Chinese food, are you asking who went into the restaurant and ordered it? Or who went into the restaurant and got it? It was me, him, I believe me, him, and my little brother went in and got it. I'm not sure if my little brother came in, that's something I can't remember. But I know that me and him both went in, did the order the Chinese food, and I had went back to the vehicle, and he had went in and got the Chinese food.
Okay, and then he brought that.
Second counsel.
And I'm gonna. I'm gonna have this one, she can't speak to them.
Okay.
Does your dad discipline you often?
By discipline, what do you mean, this physical discipline? Because I don't think that's discipline, I think that's abuse.
I understand that. And I don't disagree with you, I'm just saying, do your dad discipline you often on, say, what you consider
What do you
positive?
define as discipline?
Positive discipline, telling you to do your homework, tell you to do good things.
No, I don't need the discipline because those are things I already do.
Okay, so you're saying you don't need any discipline?
I never said I didn't need any discipline. I said I don't need that discipline because my homework and things I already have done.
Okay, now, I mean, you have, done some things that would require discipline. It is relevant, it is relevant,
How so?
because we're talking about discipline, she's talking about her and her dad, well, I'm gonna keep it to the date, an incident about her behavior and her conduct.
Counsel, my question is, how is whether he has disciplined her in the past?
Oh, that's not
Relevant.
relevant, oh, agreed, that's not relevant, I'm cutting that.
Okay,
I'm cutting that, no, I agree, that, in the past is not relevant, that's.
Oh, is there something else to look at?
no ma'am, we're waiting on a new question.
So, now, when the police arrived, it was hard for you to talk, correct?
Yes.
Okay, you couldn't really make any statement?
No, I made as many statements as I could. I was crying. I kept telling the police that my father didn't love me anymore. But I made as many statements on what happened as I could remember in the moment.
Okay, now you said something on direct. You said in the gas station, you told your father that you loved him in the gas station.
Yes, I did.
Okay, now, and where was that in?
It was in, I don't remember exactly how many rows or columns there are. But I told him like in the middle of the gas station, as he was walking down a row, I told him that I loved him and he told me I don't love him, I only want him for his money, I only use him for his money. Which I don't believe is true, but that's not relevant.
So, and what prompted you to do that in the gas station?
Because that is something I felt at the time, that doesn't stop my love. I can't tell my father I love him.
No, that wasn't my question, dear. I'm saying,
What
what,
prompted me to do that is the fact that that's how I felt at the time.
that's how you felt at the time.
I told my father I loved him because I do in fact love my father. I don't like being hit. That is, I can't tell my father I love him after things have happened to him. That is not a crime.
Okay. And when you were saying this, where is your brother?
My brother, I think he was down the aisle too.
Did you hear him saying?
No,
All right. Now, you have been in contact with your father recently, correct?
recently,
What's relevance of the nature of the relationship?
I don't really care about the nature of the relationship.
Okay.
you don't need to answer
I
that.
do not. Understand?
And you didn't
I
require,
guess for the record, I'll clarify the reason I'm saying I don't care about the nature of the relationship. That sounds like it's more appropriate for the family court. We're not litigating the nature of the relationship.
yes, Your Honor. Um, I have no further questions.
Any redirect?
Very briefly, Your Honor. Charity, at the time that this incident occurred, who were you living with, your mom or your dad?
I was living with my mom. I never lived with my dad.
Okay, were you visiting your dad at this time?
What do you mean visiting? Because time visiting, I don't know what you mean by visiting, because I went to his home, so we could travel to another place, so I'm not sure if that would be qualified as a visit.
Okay, well, let me clarify my question for you. You went to the family reunion, whose family reunion was it, your dad's side or your mom's side?
It was my father.
And you went with your father, correct?
Yes,
Okay, well, so was that the purpose why you were with your father, to go to the family reunion?
yes.
Okay, and just a couple last questions, Charity. Do you know the definition of a truth?
A truth,
Yeah.
something that is, well, how would I define it, like the word? something that is in fact what happened and not something I fabricated,
Okay, and do you know the definition of a lie?
something that I fabricated, something that did not happen,
Okay, everything that you told the judge today, is that a truth or a lie?
but true.
Okay, no further questions, Sheriff.
Just one quick question. Did you discuss, this testimony with your mother?
What do you mean, did I discuss, are you asking me if I discussed what I'm gonna say here with my mom so she can tell me what to say? Is that what you're asking me, and do you really think she would do that?
I never implied that, just asked you.
Okay,
Why did you say all that?
because that has been things that have been said before in court about me and my mother.
Did you discuss this case? Yes or no?
Did I discuss what happened to me to my mother? Yes, and did she explain what the trial will be like? Yes, did she tell me what to say? No.
But you did discuss the trial with your mother?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right.
Karen, you have described a lot of things to me today in court. And you referred to someone as your father.
Yes.
And you told me some things that the person that you referred to as your father, did to you on a particular day, correct?
Yes.
The person that you referred to as your father, did you see them in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Where are they sitting and what are they wearing?
I believe, do I have to look over there to check anything?
Yes. Where's he sitting?
On the left side of the courtroom.
And is he sitting alone or with someone?
With someone,
And, what does he have on?
black and gray hoodie and black pants.
All right, you can step back.
The judge made a record request identification to trust the record.
Yes. She can sit in here if she wants to, but, you know, let her go talk to her mother inside. All right, any other witnesses on behalf of the people?
Yes, Your Honor, at this time, the people like to call Officer Collier to stand.
All right, I have a question for you, if you can approach with counsel. Yeah. Okay. Okay,
I may want to call.
okay.
Step up and give your name.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Officer, tell me your name.
Collier.
Officer Collier, there's a sequestration order in place. Did you watch any of the proceedings, while you were sitting at home? Okay, here's the seat. What's this right here you get? You can proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, officer. And officer, there's a mic right there sitting on the edge. If you can pull that down and adjust it so that way you're talking directly into the mic so that the judge can hear you before we're taking down what you're saying. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Officer, can you state your name again for the record?
William Collier.
Thank you. And Officer Collier, I want to take you back to July 22nd of 2023. Do you recall that day?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and Were you, well, let me go back, Officer Collier, where are you employed?
Detroit Police Department,
How long have you been employed with Detroit Police Department?
3 years.
Okay, and on July
I
22nd,
apologize, 3 years today or 3 years last year?
It would have been 3 years today, ma'am.
and were you working as a Detroit police officer on July 22nd of 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and can you describe what you were wearing on that day?
Full uniform.
Okay, can you describe your uniform to the court, please?
Yes, ma'am. It would have been my police uniform that I wear for on duty.
Okay, and were you traveling, by vehicle, bike, foot?
A marked scout car.
Okay, and were you working with anyone on this particular day?
Yes, ma'am.
Who are you working with?
My partner,
What's your partner's name?
Brandon Grow.
Okay, and were you and your partner both traveling by vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I want to draw your attention on that day to an incident, that happened at the BP gas station on Joy Road and Evergreen. Do you recall that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and is that BP gas station on Joy Road and Evergreen within the city of Detroit?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that the? Very good. Is that the county of Wayne?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what happened when you arrived? Well, let me just go back. Why did you go to that gas station?
It was a police run.
Okay, do you know what type of police run it was?
I believe it was assault battery.
Okay, and what happened when you arrived at the gas station?
When I got to the gas station, I noticed that there was, I believe, 3 females inside of the gas station.
Okay, and let me just go back 1 minute. Were you driving the scout car or were you a passenger?
I was a passenger.
Okay, do you remember what passenger, back or front?
I was a front passenger.
Okay, and so, what happened when you got to the gas station?
When I got out of the scout car, my partner and I approached the gas station,
Okay,
and we then canvassed the area for our caller. And when we went inside, we found that there was minors in the gas station.
okay, do you recall, if they were male or female minors?
They were female minors.
Okay, do you recall any other minors being there?
I think there might have been 1 male man.
Okay, and did you come in contact with anyone else, regarding these minors at the gas station?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you recall who you came in contact with?
It would be the defendant.
Okay, and the person you're referring to as the defendant, do you see that person in the courtroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you point that person out and tell me what they're wearing?
This is the gentleman right here, wearing a gray and black hoodie, black pants, black shirt.
Just let the record reflect identification.
I need you to be a little less animated.
No, let's.
Now, I need you to be a little less animated.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
The whole thing is distracting. And I've tried not to say anything, but you just, Anna, you need to talk to your lawyer, write it down or something. Ms. Ritter?
Judge, may the record reflect the identification of the defendant, Mr. Chester Rogers. The record reflect the identification of Chester Rogers. Okay, and the person you're referring to as a defendant, did you come in contact with that person?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you recall if you had a conversation with, Mr. Rogers?
I believe I did. Yes.
Okay, and without telling me what was said, do you recall the nature of the conversation that you had with Mr. Rogers?
Not vividly.
Okay, did you have opportunity to talk to the minor children that were at the gas station?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, upon your investigation, did you conclude what the relationship was between Mr. Rogers and his children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what was the relationship?
That would have been their father.
Okay, and without telling me what was said, to you from the children, you recall why they were at the gas station?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, why were they at the gas station?
They were at the gas station because they had ran from home.
Okay, do you know why they ran from home?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
They alleged saying that the defendant had struck the female in her face.
Okay, and did you talk to Mr. Rogers about that specific incident? From what the children were telling you, did you talk to Mr. Rogers about that?
I don't recall.
Okay. Were you wearing body worn camera on that day, officer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Judge, ma'am? Sure, officer.
You in my Zoom room?
Oh, no, I'm not. Sorry. Oh, officer. Officer, while I'm waiting for her, what was your first name?
Liam,
Liam?
Liam.
Okay. May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may.
Thank you. Officer Collier, can you see the monitor in the courtroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. There's a screenshot of a video of, do you know what that screenshot is?
That would be the nature of our police fund.
Okay, and you testified that you were wearing body worn camera on that day?
Yes, ma'am.
And you testified that you were riding in the front seat passenger of the scout car with your partner, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so looking at that screenshot, is there any reason to believe that the screenshot of this video has been altered, deleted, or changed in any way?
No, ma'am.
And is that the same body worn camera video that you turned in at the end of your shift?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Judge, at this time, Your Honor, the people will submit, people propose to exhibit one to evidence.
No objection.
It's a minute. And Miss. Yeah, because that's saying inside, that's body worn camera, not dash.
No, that's fine.
Okay,
Okay, thank you. And Your Honor, at
Lieutenant,
this,
did you mean? Okay.
and at this time, Your Honor, the people will play people's proposed exhibit one. Support, publish its support.
Okay.
In my face. Huh? Yeah, right here, she put it in my face. She said because I was pushing my son. So I slapped the dog shit out of her. Yes, I did. And I'm not going to deny slapping my daughter. Because I'm your father at the end of the day. Then my son run up. At the end of the day, bro, it's just a big fuck party. You know what I'm saying? I fuck to get him back, bro. I go to court. I come out for 4 years. Finally get him. I get put on child support. She tell me my son ain't mine. Gotta take the DNA test to prove he's mine. Now, I got nothing but disrespectful children, bro. And they so disrespectful.
And at this time, Your Honor, the people stop playing the video at 3 minutes and 55 seconds. So Officer Collier, did you have a chance to review that, monitor in the courtroom?
I did, ma'am.
Okay, and, is that an accurate depiction of what your body worn camera captured on that day?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and is that you in fact standing there talking to the defendant in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Your Honor, at this time, the people will start playing people's exhibit one at 10 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, I'm just kidding, because it's a glare, I can't see it more.
Okay, but what are you ready to show me?
Without playing the sound, the nature of the conversation between the children and the officer.
About the sound.
Without the sound, it's irrelevant, but with the sound, it. Well, let me let y'all try your case. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I would object without the sound.
Well, I don't know why she said without the sound. It would be.
The people can play with the sound too.
Yes, I mean.
At this time, the people will start playing the video at 8 minutes and 43 seconds.
Sir. Let me tell y'all something. I'm not sure if you know where you are. But we are at 36th District Court. courtroom 339. The Honorable Lynise Bryant is presiding. It's not a free-for-all. I don't know what happens in the other courtrooms all across the state of Michigan. We are going to make sure that we are remembering where we are and who we are in front of. Okay, let's go.
Okay, at this time, Your Honor, the people are gonna play People's Exhibit 1 at 8 minutes and 41 seconds.
You may.
Thank you.
Okay, so how did you guys end up getting here?
He drove us here.
So he drove you guys to the gas station?
No.
Okay.
No. He came because I told him he was yelling at Christopher, my brother, because he was crying. He told him to man up, and I told him he kept putting his fingers in his face like he was about to get him. So I told him to leave Christopher alone, and I had yelled back at him, and he started calling me all over sorts of names. And I was crying. He told both of us to shut up. And he said he doesn't care about our feelings no more. Yeah, he told me to hang my mom up. Yeah, and then right there, we were coming back really fast this way. He turned to the gas station and crashed in there. He was about to get out, but he didn't. I had called 911 the first time. And I told him we were going to his house, and he heard me, so he took us 2 different houses. And then he took us to his house, and he told us to get out his car, and he told us to go in his house. And I said I didn't want to go in the house, so he grabbed my brother up and just told him to come in. He told me to get out his face, get away from him. And I told Christopher to come with me, but he didn't want to go to counseling, so he was just telling me to just stay here. And then he was pushing my brother, so oh my God, Chanel's here.
So
He was pushing my brother.
when did you smash?
Okay, he was pushing my brother, and then I came and I tried to push him on my brother, and he grabbed me up by my shoulders. And when he grabbed me up on my shoulders, I had hit him in his face to try to get him off of me. He threw me against the ground. And then I got up and I was trying to run him. He started yelling at me about how we shouldn't disrespect him. He's our father. We don't know what to do.
Was that when you guys ran here?
No,
You were already here when you found
no. We were at his house and I was trying to get my brother. Huh? Yes, I am. I'm trying to get stuff parked. When I was coming up the street, he was chasing me and my brother. He had pushed me against his truck. He slammed me against his truck. And then as we were coming, I told my brother just come on, and we were trying to run from him. He started chasing us. And then
that's when you ran here.
No. And then he was chasing us. He grabbed me up, and I told him I think he said something. He was trying to grab Christopher again. So I said something to him. And he slapped me really hard across my face against the ground. He slapped me so hard.
Employee 9 race very large pool party. I have now the
He slapped me so hard I fell against the ground. He stood over me. Oh no.
Large pool party location.
So much. He hates me. And I didn't want him to get my brother. And then we ran up, and that's when we started running up here. He was walking really slowly at first, and we started running after us. We came in here, and we asked him to please help. Nobody helped. Just looked at us. And they were talking friendly. Everybody looked at us.
Okay, I want you to take a deep breath. You gotta calm yourself down. You don't gotta tell me nothing more, okay?
He called me.
See if you can get to tell the rest of the story. Yeah, I'm gonna have him. If you want to go to the side. What's under the
And at this time, Your Honor, the people stop the video until 34 seconds. So, Officer Collier, you just had the opportunity to do a courtroom monitor with respect to the incident that occurred at that gas station.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and is that your recollection of what happened on that day when you responded to that call?
Yes, ma'am.
I have a good question. I'm sharing my screen.
Thank you. Cross-examination.
Good afternoon, Officer Collins. Did you get an opportunity to talk to any of the clerks or anybody?
I don't recall.
Okay. Did the young man give you any reports that he had been assaulted?
The young man.
Yeah.
That would have been the son in the video?
Yeah.
No,
Okay. Did he tell you he had been assaulted in the gas station?
no,
Okay. Did any gas station attendant say that they had seen a disturbance inside of their gas station?
I don't recall.
Did you, if you know, did you or your partner interview anybody at the gas station? That means they worked at the gas station.
I don't recall.
Now, you were with, Brandon Grow that day?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you guys are on a joint report,
Yes, sir.
right? And, now, you just saw the video. Did you see any markings on the young lady's face?
I don't recall, sir.
You don't recall if you saw any markings or any injury?
I don't recall from the scene.
Okay. Looking at the video, do you have a fresher recollection? Is that that?
Yes, sir, but it wasn't clear
Well, what is it?
for her face to see any markings on her face.
Okay. Did she tell you she was in?
On her face, yes.
She told you? Or you saying you're now saying you remember you saw something?
I believe she told me.
Okay. Now, in your report, did you author this report or did your partner author this report?
I did.
Okay. In the report, it was stated that the victim stated that the defender was in Tu's face looking like he was going to punch him.
Judge Objection, is he defense to read it from the report? Not a question.
I'm asking a question from the report. Was it reported to you, officer, that the person looked like they were going to punch him? Is
That
that,
they were going to, what?
I'm asking about the report that he,
No, counsel, just repeat what you said. If they were going to,
I'm sorry, Yana, I was going from the statement in the report, so let me go.
Then I'll object to hearsay.
well, I want somebody to read the question.
Yes, ma'am. I was it was, looking like he was going to punch him.
Punch, okay. Now, what is your objection?
Hearsay.
And what is your response?
I would say it's not hearsay, it's his report, he's authored a report. I'm just asking him as a reporting officer, what was reported to him, that's all.
The report itself is hearsay. I'll allow the question as to whether something was reported to him.
Yes, ma'am, that's all I want. I'm not trying to seek them into the police report. Was it reported to you that they were saying looking like somebody was going to punch him? Is that in your report? Would you like to see it to refresh your recollection?
Yes, sir.
May I approach him?
May.
Thank you.
Is your memory refreshed? Yeah. Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So somebody stated to you like somebody was going to punch them, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but, all right. And she also said that she was slapped hard to the ground at the gas station. She told you that as well too, right?
Judge Objection to hearsay.
She reported to the officer, I don't believe it's hearsay.
It is an out of court statement.
Okay.
Sir.
Did you transport any of the two children for medical?
No, sir.
You arrested, Mr. my client for a psych clearance?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You transported him to Detroit Receiving Hospital?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Why did you do that?
I believe that he had alcohol in his system at the time.
And that's what you normally do for people who have had alcohol in the system, you transfer for psychiatric evaluation?
I think it would have been the clearance for the Detroit Detention Center.
But I don't understand, clearance.
Can you repeat the question again, please?
I'm saying you said, I asked you, why did you transport him for psych? And you said because of alcohol, and I said, is that your practice? Everybody who has alcohol in their system, you take them for a psychiatric evaluation?
Oh, no, sir.
Okay. Why here did you take him for a psychiatric evaluation?
I don't recall for that day.
So at the time, did you inform my client what you were arresting him for?
Yes, sir.
And what did you tell him?
That the allegations from his daughter were that he had slapped her.
Did you talk to my client that day?
I'm
Not
sorry.
from you.
Oh, it is very relevant. He talked to my client that day. He arrested him. Did he get his side of the story? Did he talk? I'm not asking for what he said. Did he
I'm
make?
sorry, I know what you're asking.
Okay.
My question to you is, do you have a response to the people's objection to relevance?
I think it's very relevant if this officer made contact and talked to my client.
The objection is the same.
Did your partner make contact with Mr. Ryan?
I don't recall.
Okay. Do you know how the children or the young people left the gas station?
Yes.
And, did you stay there till they leave? You stay there till they leave, or did you find that out? So,
I stayed there until they left.
okay. And so Mr. Rogers was still on the scene as well, too?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Were you the only car to show up, or were there other cars to show up?
I don't recall.
No further questions.
Any redirect? Not at this time, Your Honor. Thank you. Thank you, Officer. Research down.
Any other witnesses on behalf of the people?
There might have been one more, I think.
Yes. FYI, this is, it should be. Put them on March 9th, 2023. And they're saying they don't have 14 months. No, they're trying to take 1 month short. No, tell them they got enough. I'll call it. Anything further on behalf of the people?
Yeah, John, at this time, the people like to call Christopher Rogers.
You talking about the little boy? Yeah, that you told me you wasn't gonna call it. Yeah, I love the way that Officer Kraft's waiting on me to say, go get the young man who you told me wasn't gonna testify. Yes, okay. Yes, sir. I'll allow it. Thank you. Tell them. I mean, no, but you gonna say it so nice. You gonna say it so nice. I'll say something. Oh, what happened to the jury trial? Did lady they call it that?
No, I didn't know.
No, this the other attorney. Where Miss Palmer, is that her name?
Yeah.
She was supposed to call me back, to let me know if it was okay for me to put it on that Wednesday, can you call? I was supposed to let the attorney know.
I didn't know that.
Which, you know, I was gonna. It was on, I guess, a day in June or something. See,
I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Oh, come towards me this way. Tell me your name. And how old are you? 14. All right, raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm, to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yeah.
All right. And Christopher Rogers, you put your hand down. You're 14. You know the difference between telling the truth and not telling the truth, correct?
Yes.
All right, the prosecutor might ask you something about that, but I'm gonna go ahead and let you have a seat. And then Mr. Christopher Rogers, I'm going to tell you the same as I told your sister. If you can look straight ahead, or you can look anywhere in the courtroom you wanna look. If you are nervous and you feel like you wanna look just at me, you can do that too. But however you wanna do it, it's up to you. And then, do you see that microphone right there? So it moves like this, look. And you can move it so that it can be closer to your mouth. And yes, thank you. Because you sound like you talk kind of soft, but I need you to talk loud enough so that I can hear you and so that the court reporter that's right over next to you can hear you. Well, we all need to hear you so we can hear the answers to the questions. Okay, Ms. Ritter.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Mr. Rogers.
Good afternoon,
Mr. Rogers, can you state your full name for the record?
Christopher Lee Rogers.
And Mr. Rogers, I want to take you back to an incident that happened where you and your sister went to a gas station and called the police. Do you remember that day?
Yes,
Okay. And you remember what gas station that you and your sister went to?
No.
Okay. What led you to go to that gas station?
What, from when we ran to the gas station, like from right there, or all the way before that?
Why did you run to the gas station?
Oh, because my dad was attacking us.
Okay, so I just wanna go back to that. So what happened before you got to the gas station?
Or, I mean, I woke up, because we were getting Chinese food, and I woke up, I was asleep, and he was.
Where were you?
We were in the parking lot,
Okay, where were you asleep?
in his truck,
Okay, do you remember if you were in the backseat sleeping or in the front seat?
front seat.
Okay, and what happened when you woke up?
I woke up, he was screaming, and then he drove off. So
Okay, and what did you do when he did that?
I put my seatbelt on.
Okay, and did you do anything after you put your seatbelt on?
No,
Okay, and what happened after you put your seatbelt on?
I mean, it was a slight crash, but then he took us back to his house. And then, well, he grabbed my sister, he put her against the truck and when she pushed her face away from him, he slapped her.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there, Mr. Rogers, because you moving real fast, so I just need you to slow down just a little bit. So that the court reporter can catch what you're saying, okay?
Okay,
All right, so you said there was a slight crash. Do you remember where the crash was?
at the gas station.
Okay, was this a different gas station?
No, same gas station.
The same gas station as the one you went to?
Yes,
Okay, and what happened after the crash?
after the crash, he took the car, over to somebody else to get it looked at, and then he took it back to his house
Okay, and where were you?
in the car
Okay, and,
with the truck.
okay, and without telling me what was said, like what was happening in the car when you guys were driving after the crash?
I don't know, really.
Okay, what happened, without telling me what was said, what happened from the Chinese food restaurant place and then when the crash happened?
I don't know, I went to sleep, I woke up, he was mad, I don't know, my mom had said something, he was mad. He was on the phone with her, she said something, he was mad,
Okay,
and then we started driving off real fast again. That's when he crashed, and then just started driving off again.
okay,
To the person in this car check.
okay, and then after,
I'm sorry, what was the last thing you said? You crashed and then you went what?
He went to somebody to get his car checked out.
Oh, thank you, to this car check. Thank you.
and then what happened when you got back to your dad's house?
Well, I don't know, he told Cherry to walk off, and she was his own, she was his daughter and stuff. And
And
then
who's Charity?
my sister,
Okay, and is this your older sister or your younger sister?
older sister,
Okay, and I'm sorry, Mr. Rogers, I don't think I asked you, how old are you?
14.
Okay, and so what did your sister do after your dad told her that?
I don't know, she started to tell him to come on with her.
She started to do what?
She started to tell him to come with her.
Okay, did you go with her?
Well, no, not at first, no.
Okay, and what happened after that?
I don't know, he had her against his truck, and then she pushed his face out of her face. And then, he slapped her.
Where did he
And that's-
slap her? Did you see where he slapped her?
No, I just seen his hand go up, and he slapped her.
Okay, what did your,
I didn't see exactly where.
okay, that's okay, and what did your sister do after that?
I don't know, she started telling me to come with her, and she started to run off. That's when I went with her,
Okay, and what was your dad doing when your sister ran off?
going after us
Okay, and where were you?
with my sister.
Okay, do you recall what street you were on when you were running?
Evergreen Road, I think.
Okay, do you know what the street your dad lived on?
Evergreen.
Okay, and you remember how long you were running for?
About what, 5, 6, 7 minutes?
Okay, and what was happening, where was your dad when you were running?
Coming after us.
Okay, and then did anything happen after that?
I mean, yes, in the gas station. I was trying to get him to stop, but then Charity said something, I don't know, he slapped me to get out the way.
Say that again?
He slapped me to get out the way.
Where?
My face, right here.
Okay, and for the record, Judge, the complainant witness held the right side of his face. Okay, and where were you when he slapped you?
Oh, in the freezer aisle of the gas station?
Okay, and did you do anything when he slapped you?
No,
Okay, do you recall if you fell or anything when he slapped you?
no.
Okay, and then what happened after that?
I don't know, he kept pacing around the gas station to the police camp.
Say that again?
He kept pacing around the gas station to the police camp.
Okay, and who called the police? Do you remember?
Sure,
Charity called the police?
yes.
Okay, and during this time, what were you doing?
I don't know, I was just following after her.
Following after your sister?
Yes,
Were you still in the gas station or outside the gas station?
inside the gas station.
Okay, do you remember, if the police came?
Yes,
Okay, did you talk to the police?
well, partially, well, my other sister Chanel, she had came to pick us up and she mostly talked to them.
Okay, what's your sister's name?
Chanel,
Okay, and she came to pick you up?
yes,
Okay, did you end up telling the police what happened when they came to the gas station?
yes.
Okay, and can I have one more? And do you recall anything else happening before the police came?
I mean, he punched me.
When did he punch you?
When?
Yeah,
While we were walking down the street.
is this before or after he started chasing you?
After,
After he started chasing you?
yes.
Okay, and what happened when he punched you?
I don't really know. I was I was on the ground with my sister, you know, because he slapped her before that and then he punched me,
Okay, where did he punch you? Do you remember?
in the back of my head, right here.
Okay, and for the record, the complaint witness is holding up his hand to the
Right.
back, oh, thank you, back right side of his head. Okay, and then, what happened after that?
I don't know, that's when we went to the gas station.
Oh, that's what, so that happened before you got to the gas.
Yes.
Okay, no further questions, Your Honor. Prosecutor.
Okay. Now, have you ever told anybody before the day that you were punched in the back of the head?
Well, yes, what, my grandfather and the investigator we talked on the phone with.
Okay. Did you ever make a statement in this case?
Would you, give me the definition of that?
I mean, did you go to the, police station and make a statement?
No,
Did your dad ever slam you into glass?
no.
Now, I understand you testified today. You had an injury that you didn't testify to today. Yes, you had an injury to your shoulder.
Yes, I was on a bike, but on my chest, he scratched me right here, somewhere up here,
Are you talking about today or are you talking about another time?
another time in the summer.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about incident of that day. We can't talk about anything that happened prior to that day. You didn't testify to things that happened prior to this day.
So that's basically all that happened, but that's basically all I remember from that day.
Okay. Okay. Now, did your dad try to get you to come into the house?
Yes,
Okay. And how did he do that?
I don't know, he grabbed me on my arm and kept, and Judy kept telling me to come with her, and what, that's when I let go, but that's my arm away with Sherry.
Okay. So he was just trying to get you in the house and then you just went with your sister?
Yes,
Okay. Were you injured in that exchange in any way?
no,
Okay. And, did you see Charity ever hit your father?
well, when she pushed his face away,
Okay. Did she ever slap him?
Well,
Charity
yeah.
said she slapped him, was she lying?
that might have been when she pushed his face away.
Okay. And, where was she when she pushed his face away?
Against his car.
Okay. Now, against the car, was her back to the car or was his back to the car?
Her back,
Her back was to the car and where was your dad?
in front of her,
Okay, and they're on the driver's side, passenger side?
driver,
Driver's side?
yes,
Okay. And where are you?
in his front yard,
Okay, you're out of the car in the front yard?
yes.
Okay. And, is your dad, where's the Chinese food? Is he still holding it or where is it?
You didn't get it,
You say you never got the Chinese food?
no,
Okay, so you said no Chinese food was ever purchased?
purchased, yeah, but I don't think he got it.
Okay. And so, do you call here, your sister said that she loved your dad in the gas station?
Yes.
Okay. And where were you when she said that?
Well, I was a few hours away,
You were where?
a few aisles away from her.
Okay, so you guys were not together.
No, there's some parts, when he slapped me to get to her, she was behind me, and that's when we separated.
It's your testimony, he slapped you to get to your sister?
Yes,
Did he hit you hard?
I don't really remember.
Did you require medical treatment?
No,
Did you tell the officers that he hit you?
yes,
That day? Okay. Um. Were you injured, son?
no, I mean, it was hurt, like, for a few days, but no.
Okay, when you say you were hurt, what you did, you mean?
And the back of my head hurt.
Okay. All right. Now, would it surprise you they only discovered it, did you have to take a bath in Epsom salt?
Yes.
Well, it's not, it is relevant to the case, to what has been presented in this case and the evidence, it is relevant to the answer. Did you get any treatment for your head
Yes, for my grandfather.
in Georgia?
Yes,
And how long after the incident did you go to Georgia?
that was the day after.
And how'd you get to Georgia?
My cousin drove us back.
And what kind of treatment did you require?
I don't know, he gave me some medicine, put some ice on my head.
Okay, did you ever go to the doctor?
No,
No further questions.
Any redirect?
Just one question.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Christopher Rogers, is everything you told the court today true?
yes, what I remember.
No further questions.
Thank you, you may step down. Anything further on behalf of people?
Nothing further on behalf of people at this time.
Okay. So if I know you had an officer, there's another officer in the hallway, was there another officer? in the hallway?
There was.
Is that officer free to leave?
The people don't plan on calling them.
I don't plan on calling those officers.
Okay, so you can let the officers know they're free to leave. Not the one, not one, the one. Okay, anything on behalf of the defense at this time?
Yes, yeah, we call Mr. Chester Rogers.
All right, Mr. Rogers, please stand where you are and state your name.
Chester Rogers.
Mr. Rogers, do you understand that you have a right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you give up your right to remain silent, the court is going to use anything you say, whether it is in your favor or not, to make its decision?
Yes.
Do you understand that your decision to testify is yours and yours alone?
Yes.
Do you understand, I'm sorry, has anyone threatened you in any way or promised you anything that was, let me finish. Has anyone threatened you in any way or promised you anything that was not placed on this record to get you to give up your right to testify?
No, ma'am.
All right, raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay,
All right. Please state your name for the record.
Chester Rogers.
Okay. And, you are the father of Jerry Rogers?
remember that this is your witness.
Okay.
Okay.
And, so, sir, on dating question, were you the company of both of your children?
Yes.
Okay. And, did you have the occasion to take your children to a family reunion?
Yes, I did.
Okay. What happened after that?
I took my kids to get some, I asked them what they wanted to eat. They said Chinese food.
I went to go get the Chinese food.
Okay, did you go do that?
Yes.
Okay. And, what happened after that?
So my daughter arrived at my house in the Uber. That's the only way I can get my kids because me and their mother don't have no contact. So when their mother told me the Uber was gonna be $60, she said she'd do the first Uber and I'll do the second.
Okay, all right, okay. Well, so you guys made arrangements for her to get to your home. If you know, sir, how did your son get to your home?
My son had been with me for a couple of days. My cousin had drove from Georgia to Detroit.
Okay, so your son was, in your household for how many days?
A couple of days.
Okay, so your son was already there.
He was already with me.
Okay. Now, okay, so you go to get the Chinese food. Then, about what time of day, if you recall?
We had left the family, you know, I said about like 6 o'clock. I don't know exactly what time it was, but I know it was like 6 o'clock.
Okay. Did anything happen at the Chinese food place?
Yeah, I actually went in, ordered the food, we was having a good time. I asked my daughter, I said, look, call your mother and ask her, can she pay for the Uber off her credit card, and I give her the cash because my bank account was withdrawn. And that's where the whole turmoil just went left.
Okay. And, so you requested one of the children call their mother.
That's the only communication we have. I don't have their mother's number or her address, nothing.
Did they in fact do that?
Yes, my daughter called, like that. My daughter called her mother. She said, my dad said, can you pay for the ride and give you the money back? And that's when her mother went and was saying she felt disrespected about my son being there. And that's where everything, then she told me I couldn't have my son back again. He wasn't able to come back. And that's where the whole disagreement started. And it just went from there.
Did it come to occasion that you got into a disturbance with your daughter?
Yes, it did.
When and where? What? When and where?
So we was at the Chinese place and me and her mother, actually her mother had her, put her on speakerphone and she began to yell at me and we got to argue through my daughter. So I told my daughter I didn't want to hear it, hang the phone up. Her mother said, no, keep me on the phone.
I don't know what's the hearsay.
You don't know what's the
I
hearsay
mean,
to the mother of the child being on speakerphone and him telling me what the mother of the child
Okay,
said.
well, no, I would strike that, not for the truth. of the matter.
Okay.
Okay.
So, okay.
Okay. So now, so the child that called the mother,
Yes.
and you guys are disagreeing on.
It really wasn't a disagreement.
All right, I'm just saying, but.
Like, what I'm trying to say is it was never a disagreement.
What I'm trying to say is take control of the witness, ask the question that's relevant to the proceeding, and then let's move on. The question is, did he have a disagreement with his daughter? That was the question.
Did you have a disagreement?
No. I didn't have a disagreement until I yelled at my son for crying.
Okay. And your son was crying.
Yes,
Do you know why he was crying?
because me and his mother was arguing.
Okay.
He always cried.
Okay. And, what if anything happened because as a result of that?
So I told him, to shut up and man up. I told him to shut up and man up.
Okay. What happened next?
That's when my daughter got to talking to me like I was somebody on the streets.
Okay, now where are you when you're saying she's talking to you like?
I'm driving down the road. So me and her gets to arguing now. I'm arguing with my daughter back and forth.
Okay, now you are driving,
Yes,
and where is she?
she's all the way in the third row.
Okay. And what type of vehicle are you in?
I have a Chevy Suburban.
Okay. All right. And your son is in the front seat with you?
Correct.
All right. What happened next?
Like we just got to arguing. I did start driving fast. And then when I turned up in the gas station, I didn't run into a pole. It's a gate right there. I hit the gate. I did. And after that, we went to my cousin's house. Her mother was still on the phone. She got to,
So you hit a gate?
yes,
Was there damage done to your vehicle?
no,
Okay. You went to your cousin's house?
correct.
Okay, now, where's your cousin's house in relation to
They
this?
stayed 2 blocks over on Arbor,
Okay,
Warren.
all right. And how long did you stay at your cousin's house?
Like 5 minutes, like literally wasn't there even that long, that long.
Did the kids get out of the car?
No,
You got out of the car?
I got out the car.
Okay. What happened next?
So, when I got back in the car, me and his mother continued to argue on the phone. And that's when I told her, like, they're not just your kids. Okay,
Objection to relevant.
So you and the child arguing on the phone?
correct.
Okay, what happened next?
I told him, like, screw it. If you can't pay for Uber, y'all just gonna stay here with me. You're not going home. And that's when they got to crying even more.
Okay, now. Was it appropriate for the children to stay?
My son did something with me. Actually, I have a court order. We have a court order from family court.
Okay, relevant to his understanding of the nature of what's going on, yeah. Well, if the kids are supposed to be, that is relevant.
Why? If the kids were supposed to be with him, if they weren't supposed to be with him, the issue that I have to decide is whether he abused them while they were either supposed to be with him or not supposed to be with him. So if they were supposed to be with him by court order that he insists on getting out, because he said it about 3 times, sitting at the defendant's table, because he thinks it's relevant. But the situation here is that all I want to hear are the things that I'm going to think are relevant for the conclusion of whether or not he abused his children while they were either rightfully in his possession or not rightfully in his possession. The objection is sustained. Let's get to the issue.
Okay. So, sir, did you slap your daughter?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And, why?
Well, when we pulled up to the house, I pulled in the driveway. I told them both to get out the car. I told my daughter to get out. She didn't want to get out of her. I said, get out the car. Then when she got out, she said, I'm leaving. And when she tried to leave, she tried to take her brother with her. I said, no, he's staying here. We got to play tug of war for her brother. And I was holding her brother arm, pulling him. And that's when she balled her face up and punched me. And I slapped her.
Okay. And now, what happened immediately after that?
After that, she tried to take off again. And I told her, go ahead. I said, go, leave. And she said, I'm not leaving without my brother. And then my son, I told him, like, what is you doing? And he told me, he said, Dad, you always told me to protect my sister. So I let him go. Literally.
Okay. What happened next?
They ran down Evergreen to Dre Road. The only reason I chased them down there was because they're not from that neighborhood. They don't know where he was at. I actually went down there and sat in the gas station with him. Okay.
Now, you've heard the testimony.
Yes.
Did you assault your children in the gas station?
No.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Very briefly, Your Honor. So, Mr. Rogers, I'm just gonna ask you a couple questions to get straight to the point.
Okay.
Okay, so you admitted that you slapped your daughter?
Yes, I
correct?
did.
Okay, and you were at your home when you slapped your daughter?
Yes, I was.
Okay, so what type of slap was it? An open hand slap?
So when my daughter actually punched me, and I told the officer that because
My question is,
okay, so my daughter punched me and it was a reaction. And that's what it was. It was just a reaction when she punched me.
my question is, did you slap her with an open hand?
I slapped her with the wrong hand. I didn't even slap her hard.
The question is,
I slapped her with-
did you slap her with an open hand or, because I don't know the question. He keeps interrupting. What's the question?
That was my question.
Did you slap with an open hand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
Okay, and, what street do you live on?
Evergreen.
Is that the city of Detroit?
Yes.
Okay, and what happened when you got to the gas station? Why did you chase him down the gas?
Actually, I chased them down there and I even told them inside the gas station, the clerks and everybody. I even knew they called the police. I didn't try to run. I said, I just wanna make sure y'all get home safe. They still my kids. They were still my kids. Even when the officer got there, I waited down there so they ride and pull up. That was
Okay,
all I
my
did.
question was, what happened at the gas station?
What happened at the gas station? I talked to my son in the gas station, like me and him talked. Me and my daughter was still arguing, my daughter still was talking to me like a person on the street. So me and her was still arguing. And she kept walking around and wouldn't let me talk to her. And then I told my son, when she came back to me, and I was telling him my level, and I already knew like I wasn't gonna see him for a while. So I was just telling him that. And then the police came out, went outside, and I talked
Okay,
to him.
so you told your son that you love him, correct? Is what you're saying?
Yes,
Did you tell your daughter that you love her?
no, I didn't, but I do
All right,
love my
that's
child.
it. That's it. Did you, I'm gonna get straight to it. Did you hit your daughter or your son in the gas station?
No,
Okay, so you never hit them in the gas station?
no, I did not.
Okay, did you hit your son or punch your son?
I pushed my son out the way when my
Did you
daughter,
punch your?
no, I did not.
Okay. Mr. Rogers, can you describe your relationship with your daughter?
Well, actually, truth be told, I don't really have a relationship, and there's a reason for that, because my daughter accused my family of molestation a couple years ago.
My question is,
Okay.
what's your relationship with
I'm
your
trying to
daughter?
explain it to you now. Can I explain it?
What's your relationship with your daughter?
Okay, so there was an investigation over my father.
What is your relationship?
I had a relationship with my daughter, but this is the thing. Ever since the accusations, what she did, listen, my dad passed, all right? Before my dad passed, my dad had cancer.
What is your
Okay,
relationship?
I talked to my daughter only calls me when she wants something. I try to spend time with her, I can't. The only one that comes over is my son. That's the relationship. I get my daughter every blue moon.
Okay, so is it fair to say you have a better relationship with your son rather than?
You know what, man?
Say that again?
My kids just got back to Detroit.
So what's your relationship with your son?
Can I talk to them? Yeah, I'm asking. Because it goes along with it.
The question is,
Okay.
what is your relationship
Well,
with
me and
your
my son
son?
had a beautiful relationship, man. A beautiful relationship. And a beautiful relationship. I love talking to my son. I love talking to my kids. I love being in my kids' life. I hate this happening.
Say that again?
I hate that this happened, you know.
Okay, so you hate that this incident happened?
Man, I never been disciplined my kids. My kids never got a whooping from me, you know.
Okay, but you slapped your daughter?
Yes, I did.
I don't have any further questions.
Any redirect?
Are you an abuser?
No, sir.
Mr. Ryan?
No, sir.
Do you believe you abuse your children on
No, I
that
do
day?
not.
Is this something that regularly happens between you and your kids?
Judge, objection or relevance?
No.
Okay,
He was gonna say whether I sustain the objection or overrule the objection. You may continue.
you do regret what happened that day?
Of course, that's what I do my kids.
No further questions.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I was shown a body cam video. And on the body cam video, you said, I slapped the dog shit out of her.
Yeah, I was speaking.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
At what point in the journey did your daughter consume dog shit? That's my question.
It wasn't dog, it wasn't no dog mess, it was a phrase, but.
And what did you mean by that phrase,
When
right
my
there?
daughter punched me, it was a reaction. I did slap her around.
I'm asking you, what did you mean by that phrase? Because there's a difference. What you're not gonna, right, because you can interrupt them, but not me. What did you mean when you said because there would be a difference in my mind from a person said, like you said today, yeah, I slapped my daughter. My question is, when you said that to the officer that day, what did you mean by that phrase right there?
I mean, if truth be told, I was just saying I slapped her, but I put the emphasis on it that I was angry, you know? But-
Okay, when you put the emphasis on it, in my mind, that means you slapped her real hard. I slapped the dog stuff out of her. That says to me, from the east side, 6115 Seneca, that says to me that I slapped her real hard. Like when you're trying to tell a story to somebody and you're like, well, what happened? And you're like, man, I slapped the dog. That means you slapped him real hard. When you said that to the officer, was that what you were trying to portray, that you slapped her real hard?
No,
Okay, and then I have another question. How fast were you going when you hit the gate? How fast? You said I was driving fast.
okay, so.
You keep interrupting.
Oh,
Okay, you said I was driving fast. That's when, I think I don't remember who asked you questions, but how fast were you driving when you hit the gate?
So I was in the turning lane and the cars was coming and I hurried up and just sped up and I don't know what speed I was going. I turned into the gas station.
Are there any questions based on my question?
Just one.
Okay.
And sir, when you, the question about the dog shit, did you, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you can say it, because he said it.
Okay.
He just repeating what he
Yes,
said.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying, you did not slap your daughter that hard?
I didn't slap her that hard.
Okay, that was a colloquialism you was using?
Right.
I'll allow it. I'm allowing it.
That's what I'm done.
Oh, okay. You may step down. Anything further on behalf of the defense?
No, yeah.
Defense ready?
Yes.
Any rebuttal on behalf of the people?
No, Your
Are we ready for closing argument?
Honor. Judge, can I just have 2 minutes on that?
Yes. Okay. You can have more than 2 if you need. I mean, I'm not rushing you. You just go ahead. Go. You don't have to put time period on it, but just go ahead. Okay.
ready for closing. Judge.
Okay, and I didn't know if your witnesses had stayed.
They did, and I asked Mom if they wanted to come in, but she was.
Okay, all right. You may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Really, I think for the first time, people are actually kind of at a loss for words when it comes to closing. I mean, there was a lot of descriptive events that were explained to the court in the testimony of the children. And the people have had a lot of sorts of cases, Your Honor. The people had a lot of testimony from a lot of different complaints. But I believe that this is probably the most disturbing testimony that the people have ever witnessed for this. The court heard testimony from Charity Rogers, complainant witness number 1 in this case. And what really caught the eye of the people during the testimony from Ms. Rogers is the emotion and the reaction and the recall of events that occurred. And the way that Ms. Rogers testified truly was remarkable, Judge, because her demeanor and her emotion was so much involved in this case. And I think that's important for the court, Judge, because she had to testify on that stand as to what specifically happened on this day. And one thing I do recall about Ms. Rogers' testimony is that she was very detailed and descriptive. She testified that she had went to the Chinese school with her dad. She testified that they went to the family reunion where she met some people that she never met before, so she met some people for the first time. And then when she started getting into the descriptive part of the incident, she testified to the court that her and her brother ran to this gas station. And I think during direct, when I asked her if she remembered what the name of the gas station or where the gas station was, I think she described where the gas station was, but also she described that this gas station was across the street from this family doctor. And I'm pointing that detail out to the court judge because it stuck out to the people that if this witness was truly fabricating this story, I don't believe that these descriptive details will be involved in her testimony. I don't believe that she would have remembered exactly the details from the events that led up to the incident at the home, to run into this gas station across the street from the Family Dollar. I mean, she testified as to what happened inside of the gas station when they got in there. And then she also testified that before she ran to the gas station when she was at home with her father picked her up by both arms, and she was very descriptive as the court recalled the people making a record as to how she was demonstrating in the court, how her father picked her up by both arms, slammed her against the hood of the car, and then slapped her in her face. Now, Judge, comparing that to the testimony of Christopher Rogers, complainant number 2, the people saw some similar testimonies, some similar details in the second complainant witness's testimony. And again, that goes to the credibility of what really happened and the credibility of the complainant witnesses in this case, Judge. And the testimonies were very similar. The testimony was very not as descriptive as Charity's. Christopher's testimony wasn't descriptive as Charity's, but it's important because he did recall the main event of Mr. Rogers slapping Charity. And then also, there was testimony from Mr. Christopher Rogers that his dad slapped him in the back right side of his head. Now, I want the court to compare that to the testimony from Officer Collier testified that he responded to the run at the gas station. He came in contact with the children, but he also came in contact with the defendant. And the people played People's Exhibit 1, which was the body worn camera of Officer Collier. And in the body worn camera, Your Honor, the defendant is actually admitting to slapping the court. I'm not gonna say exactly what slapping the dog, S-H-I-T, out of his dog. And Your Honor, that speaks volumes because this is a case where we're dealing with 2 minor children and a father. Not 2 children and a stranger, 2 children and a father. A father is supposed to love, protect, and provide for his kids. I'm sorry.
I gotta check that tomorrow.
Check. Now, Regina, you may, thank you. Judge, nowhere in the testimony from those children that people see a father that loves and protects. And that's important because that goes to the nature of this whole incident, the nature of the relationship between the father and the 2 children. And Your Honor, it's important for kids to get that guidance, that love and affection that they're supposed to be provided from their parents in order for kids to succeed and grow in this world and be productive members of society. And that's not what we displayed in the courtroom today. And I believe the people have met their burden. Testimony from complaining witnesses, the body worn camera from Officer Collier, I think they cooperated with everything the complaining witnesses said. But I don't believe, Your Honor, that what this program seems today was anything less than child abuse. The physical assault of these children were very much done on this day by the defendant. And I'm asking the court, Your Honor, to find the defendant guilty of counts 3 and 4 child abuse and 4 degrees with respect to Charity Rogers and Christopher Rogers. But if the court does not believe the people have met their burden, I'm going to ask the court to actually consider the alternative charges, which is count 1 and count 2 of the
All right. Closing argument?
Yes, Your Honor, the court has heard the testimony, and this is a sad case in a lot of ways, dealing with family members, but I would also submit to you the evidence in this case. The evidence of my client's size, my client's physical capabilities. The testimony you heard that he was driving fast, he ran into a gate, was in an emotional state, and upset. This court sees a lot of evidence and sees a lot of victims, sees a lot of people get harmed in this that I have as a prosecutor. And I think, did he have contact with the children? Yes. But did he abuse them, or did he, and that we went through the exercise of the phraseology that he used when he encountered the officer about to like it. But if he had actually done that, this Charity would have been in the hospital. You didn't see any evidence of a man that size, where it's physical, had really unleashed on those children. Had he really punched his son in the back of the head, I think he would have told the police officers when they arrived. I think what you have to also look at too is what was not said. And you have the video camera evidence, you can review that. What was not said and what is likelihood and the circumstances of how it is, how it's being reported out and being played out now. And what I'm saying is, if I'm punched in the back of the head, if I'm being thrown around the gas station, these are things, as you know, that you see in this court that people say immediately, right off. These aren't things that have to be teased out. These are things that come, and these facts, I believe, had to be teased out, or they didn't tell the officer because it didn't. Did it happen? Yes, something bad happened, but did it happen to the degree like if you were to read this paper and say, no, my client, even being upset, still had love. He didn't beast out his children. And anybody knows about evidence, and you saw the evidence of that young lady moments after it happened. You saw at least I mean, review the case, but at least from the distance I saw of that young lady had been assaulted greatly physically on her face. Had she been, yes, but you didn't see that, and she's she's not as dark as I am. You would have seen something to that degree if he had hauled off and the DS out of that. There would have been some evidence of that. So the court can look to that truth. That day, Mr. Rogers didn't unleash on his children. Yes, a bad thing happened. I'm a parent. Parents and children have that day. And these are teenagers. I know they're minor children. I'm about to pick one up, 732. These are teenagers. Teenagers who, it's up, it's down, and they have a strained relationship because of the nature of the mother and of the relationship. He did stay till the children were picked up. As you can see, he wasn't running and hiding. He basically confronted the police officer, okay? And to me, that's evidence of what I'm saying to you in the sense of he's not hiding. He could have ran home or drove off or been gone. He was there because the whole incident was about his children. I believe he loves his children. This was a situation that went awry. I don't think it rises to the level of abuse. I asked him, and then the court didn't find relevance, but there isn't any litany or history of this happening. The children didn't testify, oh, my dad always does this. This was a situation, okay, as in life, with humans and family, happens. Okay? It does happen. Some of us are blessed to have situations that don't necessarily rise to that occasion, but sometimes it does. Now, does it mean that Mr. Rogers is a monster? I don't think so. I don't think a monster is sitting here for you. I think it was a father who was frustrated, a father who had been upset by outside impetus, not the children. But I want you to pay attention, and you will, very report of all the facts in this case. And even in the sense that he went and had his van checked out, and it's not relevant whenever we got into that, but it is something for the court to consider in the sense that he took. This was not anything constant and consistent. This was not something that he was just all riding down on his kids. He took the kids to his cousin's house to have the van inspected. Everybody testified to that. So this isn't a situation where he felt like he had done something where he had to secret the kids off or hide them away, or because he took them to somebody else that they could have jumped out the van and said, okay, he voluntarily did that. He didn't take them all back to his home and force them into the house and secret them. This is something, Your Honor, unfortunately, in the process, I know this court is well aware of, raising kids or dealing with kids, it happens, okay? It does happen. But I'd ask you to find my client not guilty on this matter, because I do honestly believe it was a situation. There's some things that got out of control, but I don't believe that Mr. Rogers abused his children on that day.
Very briefly, Judge. So, Judge, according to the jury instructions for child abuse, one of the elements that you have to prove is that the defendant knowingly or intentionally committed an act that was under the circumstances posed as an unreasonable risk of harm or injury, and that the jury instructions further go to say that actual injury is not necessary. And I'm pointing that out to the court, Judge, because I mean, from the testimony from both of the complaining witnesses, even the defendant testified that there was a situation that happened from the Chinese food place where the defendant sped off, hit a fence at the gas station, physically assaulted his children. I mean, it's so many unreasonable risks of harm and testimony from physical assault from this incident alone, Judge. I don't think that it's classified as what the defense is trying to classified to the court as something that just happened. This is not something that just happened. Okay, Judge, this is not, we're not talking about an incident where even like a belt was used to discipline a child. It's not a fine line between abuse and parental discipline. It's not. It's a very clear line between what abuse is and what parental discipline is. And in this case, Judge, I didn't see a parental disciplinary action happening when we should. I saw abuse for Charity Rogers, who testified to this court. I saw abuse for Christopher Rogers, who testified to this court. And Your Honor, I believe the testimony, the video, and the cooperating testimony from the officer proves to this court that the people have met their burden and prove beyond a reasonable doubt that there was in fact an incident that happened where Mr. Rogers physically assaulted both of his children, Christopher and Charity Rogers. And with that being said, Judge, again, I'm asking the court to find Mr. Rogers guilty of count 3 and 4, child abuse and fourth degree with respect to each complainant witness, or in the alternative, Your Honor, I'm asking the court to find Mr. Rogers guilty of count 1 and 2 for assault matter with respect to each complainant witness. Thank you.
Court has had an opportunity to review the charges against Mr. Rogers, to consider the testimony, and to hear the arguments of counsel, and the court is ready to render its verdict. People had a burden to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that on or about July 22nd, 2023, within the city of Detroit, county of Wayne, at or near 8063 Evergreen, that the defendant, and I'm reading it now from the amended complaint, did commit either one count of assault or assault and battery as to each complaining witness, or one count of child abuse fourth degree as to each complaining witness. And then, of course, in order to meet his burden, people submitted 3 witnesses and 1 exhibit. And then the defendant gave up his right to remain silent testifying in this case. All right, so the court is looking at the people's burden, what the people have proved, and the defendant is charged in the amended complaint with 2 counts of child abuse fourth degree, contrary to MCL 750.136B, subsection 7 and 8. And the court reads it as follows: a person is guilty of child abuse in the fourth degree if any of the following apply. A, that the person's omission or reckless act causes physical harm to a child. B, the person knowingly or intentionally commits an act that under the circumstances poses an unreasonable risk of harm or injury to a child, regardless of whether physical harm results. And then 8, child abuse in the fourth degree. Oh no, that's not what I'm trying. 9, this section does not prohibit a parent or guardian or other person permitted by law or authorized by the parent or guardian from taking steps to reasonably discipline a child, including the use of reasonable force. All right, so the court, having had an opportunity to listen to the testimony, and then Mr. Rogers giving up his right to remain silent, and admitting that he slapped his daughter, I was confused by why we were here, meaning why we were here in this trial. He got on the stand and admitted that he slapped his daughter. So I printed this out, and then I was reading it, and I said, maybe I'm missing something. Then, as I listened to the defendant's closing argument, I wrote a couple of things down. Number 1, Mr. Rogers believes that his relationship with his children are strained because of the relationship that he has with their mother, the strained and unreasonable relationship that he has with their mother. And I thought to myself, what which children are we talking about? Are we talking about two children that testified here that were very intelligent and appear to have their own opinions about every situation? That, are those the same children that we're talking about? And then, defense counsel indicated that he didn't run off, he didn't hide, he stayed there at that gas station. He wanted to make sure that his children got home safe. And he even took the time to stop off after he went at a high rate of speed, sped with his children in the car, crashed into a gate. He then took the time to go and have his cousin see about not his children, but his vehicle. To make sure that the vehicle that I just crashed in with my kids was okay. And he didn't hide. He wasn't trying to have the kids and say, you know, whatever. He took him in the public. And then they went to the gas station. And he stayed there and waited with the children until the police came. And that is supposed to tell me that that means he didn't abuse the kids. But what that tells me is that he is the epitome of the abuser of children. Because I don't think I'm wrong. Because I slapped the dog, I ain't gonna say it again, out of my daughter. I too have raised two children. Jury instructions say use your own common sense and everyday judgment. Me, the one from the east side, proud to be 6115 Seneca, the one that grew up dead smack in the hood, raised two children, a beautiful daughter and a handsome son. My daughter, just like me, born in the same month, born 8 days after me, same zodiac sign, smart mouth. Daughter got the same smart mouth that her mother has. And in all of her 32 years of living, in all of the times that she got smart with me, which were far and few between. Why? Not because I ever touched her and put my hand to her, because I know how to raise my daughter with her smart mouth. And I know how to tell her that how disrespectful and unladylike it is for you to have a smart mouth. The fact that Mr. Rogers sat on the stand and still didn't see anything wrong with him slapping his daughter in the face. Slapped her in the face. He wants me to believe that his son, who still clearly supports his dad, didn't get punched in the back of the head. He wants me to believe that his son, who still supports him, didn't suffer the abuse that he suffered. Let's just say that I do. Let's say that I do believe that I do believe that they didn't suffer that. The prosecutor didn't even bring it up in their closing argument. But I'm confused as to why nobody thought, or why nobody said anything about the fact that the child abuse also occurred when he sped through the light to make a left turn before the cars came and crashed into the gate. That is child abuse. Child abuse. Reckless driving with a child under the age of 16 in the motor vehicle. That's child abuse. I had an accident and crashed into a gate and didn't even check on my kids. But I checked on my vehicle, took that vehicle and I checked on my vehicle. All right. Yeah. So as you have probably figured out, of course, by now, that court does believe that Mr. Rogers engaged in behavior that Mr. Rogers knowingly and intentionally engaged in behavior that created an unreasonable risk of harm or injury to his child. his children. Additionally, the court believes that he engaged in a reckless act that actually caused physical harm to his children, and the court therefore finds him guilty of count 3, child abuse 4th degree, and count 4, child abuse 4th degree. And in doing so, court is going to revoke his bond, and he's going to go into custody today.
Your Honor, he has a.
Hey, I got a job.
Your Honor.
I don't know why people yelling at me.
Yeah,
Hold on, let me say this. I don't understand why somebody is yelling out at me, including counsel.
Bro, this is, bro. I really fought 4 years.
I don't know why someone is yelling at me.
I'm not yelling, I'm just hurt, man. Y'all don't understand. I'm hurt. I've been through this.
Let me say something. You're gonna stop talking. You're gonna stop talking right now, or it's gonna increase. Like as you keep talking, we're gonna increase. Okay, so the court is going to take Mr. Rogers into custody. I am gonna raise his bond and put him on the GPS tether. I'm gonna send him for a pre-sentence investigation and a substance abuse evaluation, and I'm gonna set the matter for sentencing.
Y'all lose my job now?
He is to have absolutely no contact. You should have thought about your job when you was slapping your kids. You should have thought about your job when you was busting your son in the back of the head. You should have thought about your job when you was speeding through the light and turning your car and crashing into the gate. You should have thought about your kids when you told your daughter that she was disowned and unworthy. You should have thought about your job.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
When you abused your kids, not only physically, but verbally, you should have been thinking about your job. You should have been thinking about your job. But what we're not gonna.
I really love him, man. Fought for him for 4 years. Took him from him. I just got him back.
Mr. Rogers.
I'm hurt, man. I'm hurt.
You can go ahead and take it to the back. You have.
My family, y'all think y'all, should I tell? Y'all know my.
Take him to the back now.
I just want somebody to lock up my house. My dogs.
We got you, Mr. Ryder. Don't take care of it downstairs.
I'm hurt. This is foul, bro. Listen, man, this is foul.
We're gonna set the matter for sentencing.
Yana, you can ask what